What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. My name's Kyle. In this video, it's February 27th. We're going to go over the top waiver wire ads in fantasy basketball for the week. Some of you guys may have started this. This might be your first week of playoffs. Otherwise, for me, it's my last week of playoffs, so everyone's trying to get ready. Hopefully, you guys got your bye secured. If not, let's get you set up for the remainder of the fantasy basketball season. I want to show Yahoo real quick. These are the top ads on Yahoo right now. You can see Marvin Bagley III here being one of the highest rostered over 20,000 ads here on Yahoo. And you got Josh Richardson, you got Dennis Smith Jr., Shaden Sharp's getting dropped, Precious Achua getting dropped, Jared Vanderbilt getting added, Kendrick Dunn here getting added here. And then Kevin Love, another guy. Let's see, anyone else being dropped? Terrace Mann being dropped. Malik Monk kind of being added and dropped. Cam Thomas being added, and as well as James Wiseman and Mark Williams, who's on the cover of the video tonight. So let's get into it. ESPN. Let me just hit a little bit more zoom. I'm filtered right now. I have everyone available, and I've filtered by the last 7 days, and then I hit the plus minus button here. Let me just do one more zoom out. At the top, it's Mitchell Robinson. It's good to see him back, but he's well owned. Gordon Hayward, well owned. Kelly Oubre, owned. Walker Kessler, high percentage owned. Jalen Williams is a guy that's playing pretty well too. He's high owned. So really, the first couple guys that are like fringe available in most leagues are going to be Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He's about 22% rostered. But then there's Mark Williams at 17% rostered, averaging 35 points per game over the last few days here. A 49-point game the other night, 18 points and 20 rebounds. So dude's going to collect points, rebounds, and a ton of blocks. You can see he's had a block in the last 8 games. So Mark Williams, one of the best ads right now if you're in a 10-man league. Otherwise, Kevin Love was a guy that I picked up this week, and he has been starting for the Miami Heat. You see 2 games with the Miami Heat, 22 minutes and 26 minutes, a range of 22 points to 35 points here. So his scoring is going to be streaky. You see 0 points and 13, but the rebounds, the assists, the steals, the blocks are all going to be there. So if he can settle into the mid-20s minutes per game here, I think Kevin Love's got a lot of usefulness for fantasy rosters down the stretch, whether that's a 10 or 12-man or even deeper here. So I like Kevin Love as one of the top ads with his new team. There's Marvin Bagley. He erupted for a huge game, 21 points and 18 boards the other night here on the 25th, 47 fantasy points. So that's why he's being plucked up by a lot of people right now. Markelle Fultz is high rostered. Malik Monk, dude, that one overtime game the other night, he went off for 45 points. Otherwise, he's got a pretty low floor of 12 to 20 points here. But I guess in a 12-man league, he's worth holding on to because he can explode off the bench for you. Kyle Anderson, not sure why his rostership is so low. He's only 17.6% rostered, but he's been playing fantastic, especially the last 5 games here. You see a low of 22 or 24 points, but for the most part, he's going to settle in around 30 fantasy points per game. So Kyle Anderson, definitely on the list. Good to see Bobby Portis back for the Milwaukee Bucks. Kevon Looney, 21.8% rostered, averaging 34 points per game over the last 7 days. He's a must-add pickup if he's available. And then we saw on Yahoo, Josh Richardson was one of the top ads. He's 11% rostered his last couple games here. Some big minutes, 34 and 29, double-digit points. And look at that, rebounds, assists, and steals. We love his defensive ability, racking up the 3-point steals here. So that's what you're looking for when you add a guy like this. High floor, we like his defensive abilities. Zach Collins, starting kind of center for the Spurs right now. His minutes are up. Ever since the Jakob Poeltl trade here, he's been getting almost over 30 minutes per game, kind of hitting some double-doubles, assists, steals, and some blocks every now and then. So in a 10 or 12-man league, Zach Collins needs to be picked up. Russell Westbrook, Malcolm Brogdon, let's see here. Talon Horton-Tucker, a really, really strong play here. He's been a big add to the Jazz since about the trade deadline here. You see his lows 19 minutes. He still hit 20 fantasy points in that game. He's had 20 fantasy points in 7 straight weeks. Or 7 straight contests, and dude has been an assist machine. He's going to rack up points, rebounds, assists, gets the occasional steal, but then look at the blocks too. He's had 6 blocks in his last 3 games. So Talon Horton-Tucker, one of the best ads, under 10% right now. I'll shout out Emmanuel quickly. Malachi Branham here, only 7.2% rostered, and he's averaging 26.5. We'll shout out Lou Dort. We'll shout out Dennis Smith Jr. I added him just for tonight. And then DeLon Wright, another player making some good moves. So a lot of players available for you guys if you need the help. Cam Reddish is another one who has been benefiting from his new change of scenery here. 3 straight games of over 30 minutes. The points are kind of, all around the board here, but he's going to get rebounds, assists, and steals, and it's going to give him a decent floor. You see 23 and 24 points as kind of like a floor game. Even when he doesn't score a lot of points, he had 7 points last night. He still puts up 24 fantasy points here. So it looks like Cam Reddish is a guy that needs to be rostered for the remainder of the year. So pick him up if you can. And then I'm going to hit I just want to show you guys so in my league here, it's a pretty competitive 12-man league. I just want to show you who's available here for me. We're talking Chris Dunn. I'm sorry earlier. I said Kendrick Dunn. It's Chris Dunn. My bad here. He had a big game for Utah the other night here. 43 fantasy points, 15, 7, and 8. Almost a triple-double for Chris Dunn. We'll keep an eye on him. Nasir Little popped off the other night when Dame Lillard was out. 26 points, 3 boards in that game. Good for 47 fantasy points. Still played 20 minutes and almost got a double-double last night, though, in that crazy Dame Lillard game. So 28 points. Someone to keep an eye on this year. Little, Patrick Beverly. I'm going to hit filter by fantasy points here. Jalen Smith, we'll see if he can continue this. He had a nice big game the other night, 31.75 fantasy points. Xavier Tillman, he is quite the interesting guy here. Only 1.4% rostered, but his last 2 games, 28 points and 34. He had some low moments here, 8, a 13, a 10. But he has been playing well lately. If he's going to get 25 to 30 minutes on a nightly basis, you're going to love what he does for fantasy. So keep an eye on Tillman. He's a guy that you can add, for a game or two if you need somebody. So I like him quite a bit. We'll also shout out Chris Dunn, Nicholas Batum, Daniel Tice. Hernan Gomez gets a spot start every now and then. Not sure what's up with Jayshawn Tate. But Ty Washington, Jordan Nwora, a lot of these guys averaging over 20 fantasy points over the last few days. But that's the majority of players that I wanted to cover. Hopefully you guys are able to snag some of these guys. If not, let me know if I missed anybody. If you guys want to add anybody to the list, please leave a comment. And then, thank you guys so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and good luck. Peace.